Hello?
Hi,
Hey,
how are you, Kellen?
good, good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me today.
Absolutely. Yeah, and thank you for reaching out to us. Uh,
Yeah,
I just went through your form and you have mentioned that you're looking for a car buying plus a trade. So yes, tell me more about it.
yeah. Basically, what we're trying to do is we have three vehicles that we have loans on,
Okay,
and we're just trying to reduce like our you know our bills to. So the thinking is potentially getting as much as we can with with two of them in order to get a lease on one,
noted. Yes,
right?
we can work on getting
Uh,
the highest appraisal value on two of them. Use that money
yeah.
as a down payment to get a new
Mhm.
lease, again at the lowest negotiated price based upon your
Yep.
preferences.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea, and I know that there's a headache to do that, you know, trading in two vehicles
Yep.
to be in a situation where we could get a lease. And if we did that successfully, then you know, we would reduce our monthly, amount that we pay by probably like 30-40%, which is kind of where we're trying to get to, right? Can you
Noted.
close the door? Um, but yeah, so that was kind of the idea. And I know that as I'm doing some research, my car buying experience over the years have been like horrible, right? You kind
Yes,
of
that's unfortunate,
you're
but yes, that's the case.
yeah,
Yep.
you're there for 6 hours, sometimes eight, and they're just dragging you along. And I've heard of concierge kind of services, um, and I think that if there was a world where we could be like, hey, we want this, tell us to go test drive it, walk away, and then e-sign some paperwork, and then a car gets delivered. Like that's kind of like where I don't have to talk to anyone. That seems very nice to me.
Yep, yep, that's everyone's dream. Yeah. And that is what we are enabling and making it possible over the last 4 years.
Okay. And are you so you guys are located in Scottsdale or
Yeah.
how does it? Okay.
So
And,
just
and
to give you the logistics, I'm based
yeah.
in Scottsdale, Phoenix, Arizona. I've done my master's in biomedical informatics from Arizona State University. And since over
Okay. Cool.
now I've been in States. Along with me, I have the team. Two of the members on my team, one is working out of Miami, Florida, and another one is working out of Cleveland, Ohio. The remaining part of the team, which is the backend operations, is working from India to ensure
Okay.
that we can offset the cost and also pass on the savings to our clients.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And so you're the founder I'm speaking
Yeah,
with, huh?
I'm the founder. Yes.
Oh, great. That's great. Cool. I saw that you had this like the pricing is like 1,600 bucks basically, or somewhere in there
Yes.
for like um is it
For that's for the buying plus the trade, and there is
mm,
$200 off, so it comes out to be 1497. So it's fifteen hundred
okay.
dollars all inclusive, one-time fee from start to finish.
Okay. And that's okay with having two vehicles we're trying to trade in for one
Yes,
lease?
that will
Oh,
encompass.
okay.
We are not like a dealership where I want to nickel and dime and add all the
Yeah.
unnecessary fees. We are completely opposite of the horrible experiences what you're dreading of and you don't want to go there. And that's exactly where we come into the play to ensure that you have a seamless, hassle-free experience with a very core focus on cost savings. With my mathematical
Okay.
background, we
Yeah,
use.
well, I think that is a great investment knowing that I'll save that over time,
Yes, and
you
of
know?
course, you are not paying everything upfront. You are only paying $499 to begin the engagement. After everything is completed, set and done, where your two vehicles are traded, your lien is paid off, the remaining residual amount is used towards a down payment. You are getting your new vehicle per your preference, per your color preference, everything. And then we are reviewing the contract, the paperwork, and then you take that vehicle and walk home happy then we'll
Okay.
request the remaining $1,000 as a part of the remaining full and final invoice.
Okay. Is it kind of a power of attorney approach where you
No,
get to
it's
speak
not
on my
power
behalf?
of attorney. You are directly paying the fees, I mean the car pricing to directly to the dealership. We act as a consultant here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're speaking on my behalf, basically.
So no, we are just reviewing the paperwork on your behalf. All your signatures, all the paperwork is between you and the dealership. You are
Okay.
you are owning and you are leasing the vehicle under your own name. We
Yep.
just act as a mediator, just like you consider like us as a lawyers representing your
Yeah.
case, or act as a brokers when you are buying a property.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And this vehicle could be from any dealership.
Yeah, it can be from any dealership. We are not affiliated with any dealership or even any
Okay.
manufacturers in the entire US as well as Canada. So we work as per your preferences and requirements. We have a dedicated client requirement form which we can quickly go through it once we go have an initial dialogue over here. And also, I will just share
Okay.
my screen to show you all the behind the scenes activities in terms of how many vehicles we are listing down, how many times we are connecting with the dealership, what are the ways through which we are
Yeah,
negotiating,
that'd be great.
the
Yeah, I just
communications
wanna.
which we have. Yes, yeah,
Yeah, please, that'd be good because yeah, it's not the decision I'm making today or in the future here is based on, do I trust you and your team? You know,
absolutely.
and it's not necessarily like, hey, will you get the job done? I think that you will. I just, do I want to give my money to support your business? Because you know, I'm in private equity and I own businesses too.
Oh,
So
great.
I understand what you've built in the last 4 years. I kind of see the grind. It's great to know that you're here as a founder in my face. As the initial call, that means a lot to me. You
Yes,
know,
I do
so
to ensure that
yeah,
we can provide a tailored and personalized approach. Yeah.
yeah, great.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
And
just kind of walk me through what it's gonna feel like. Like, okay, I know that I'll pay this engagement. What does it look like over the next 72, 1 or 2 weeks, and that way I can kind of like put it together, and obviously I have to make a decision with my wife.
absolutely.
Because what we're trying to do is get her a vehicle. This is for her.
Okay.
you know, we have a vehicle that has positive equity and one that has negative equity.
Okay. Yes.
And if it requires us to put more money in, that's a
Mm.
possibility as well,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to be fair, reasonable, because I feel like one of the vehicles is a 2022 Sienna, right?
Mhm.
White, highly desirable, probably, I don't know, worth 38, 40 grand. I don't know what it's worth, but somewhere probably around there.
Mhm.
And we only owe like, I don't know, 24,000 dollars on it, right? So we
Okay.
know that there's some room there. The problem that we're trying to kind of solve for is I have a Range Rover
Oh,
that you know is upside down by a lot once I got it off, and I can see a world where potentially the Sienna equity just offsets the the Range Rover
negative
upside down,
equity. Yeah.
right?
Upside down. Yeah.
But then we'll have to put in, 5, 6 grand down on whatever cars. I'm okay with that,
Okay.
right? For a lease, we want to be in a lease world because my wife likes new cars every 2, 3 years. So like, and I think our credit is potentially good enough now for a lease.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I definitely ain't. I I make enough. I make more income, enough income, or enough to offset a discussion around credit. Just put it that way.
Okay.
You know,
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
make my debt to income ratio is lopsided, so I make more than my debt. So
That's good.
um,
That's good. Yes.
yeah. So regardless of my credit, I can get away with stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're in the private
Yeah.
equity world, so you know how to make the numbers work. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually in tech. Uh, I'm
Okay.
a CTO for a fund, but yeah, I just but being a business owner, when you're putting your own capital, your personal guaranteeing your business in the very beginning, it hurts you for a couple years personally.
Yeah. Yeah. It
It's
does. It does.
So you get it. And then
Yeah.
you start realizing there's, credit scores for businesses, your D&B starts mattering and all those other things. So I've learned that pretty for in the last 10 years of my life. So, so I'm trying to improve my personal credit, but it's been hindered by my own business.
Yeah, yeah, and but as long as in the PE world, which is very common, as long as you use OPM, other people's money, to grow and
Yeah,
leverage it, that's good.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah, show me that this deck that you wanted to share, and then we'll just go through it.
Sure, sure. I've been also into the 10 plus years into the tech domain, and all the decks and everything looks fancy on the outside. So I'm a big believer of showing you what exactly you're going to get and how day to day the team is going to act upon it, and also some
Okay.
of the templates of a brief client communication. So you can
Hmm.
expect that level of communication on a daily basis with from us. So we operate this as a full-fledged Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time business. The
Okay.
entire team, which is working from India, they do night shift, and we have a direct calling, emailing, texting capabilities to ensure that it's
Hmm.
as seamless as you want, irrespective of the
Hmm.
distance. And personally, I'm based in US as well as I travel most often to ensure that there is no hiccup. And a couple of my team
Okay.
members will always be marked in the email to ensure that if someone is on leave, your process and your communication and the flow which we want to continue maintaining it is not impacted.
Okay.
Okay, that being said, let me share my screen over here. So we'll start with something which is what you are thinking of. That is like selling your two vehicles. One is the Sienna, what you talked about, and one is the range, and focusing on
Uh-huh.
getting the highest appraisal value. So when we initiated the business, it started from my own personal experience. Had a horrible experience, got amazing negotiated deal, got the word got spread around in the community, and then people started asking, Neil, can you do it for my friends? Can you do it for my family, for my wife, for my cousin, for my sister, or eventually for myself because I'm stuck at work and I would rather get paid more doing my work than
Yeah.
20 hours haggling and being on the call being put by the dealership. And so
Yep.
as we do this on a 24/7, 365, we have learned two things in the last 2 to 3 years. So that being said, coming to the this particular client of ours, his name is Dr. Porter. He had a 2016 Porsche Panamera. This is on the appraisal side,
Hmm.
that is on the selling side. I'm talking about some miles were driven on his vehicle. And when he looked online, typically, which is the KBB case, he was only getting
Yep.
$18,000. And he came to me. He's a neurosurgeon out in Arizona. And we have got full
Yep.
permission to disclose his spreadsheet. So we also maintain the confidentiality.
Thank
And
you.
so he's completely comfortable. So if you say, okay, after the entire engagement is done, please delete my emails, please delete my spreadsheets, we'll comply to that
Hmm.
because we serve with a lot of PE, HNIs, as well as some of the NBA, NFL players as well. So we take
Hmm.
care of utmost confidentiality and privacy. And that being
Great.
said, coming back over here, so he expected so he was getting $18,000 for his
Yep.
Porsche. He called me up and said, Neil, I do expect that I should be getting paid more. So we onboarded him. So this is all the information what we'll collect from with your current vehicles. That is your VIN
Yep.
number, miles driven, interior, exterior photos, ensuring that all the information what we have, so that we get the most reliable, accurate appraisal value from multiple
Yep.
dealerships. So that way that there are no last minute surprises. We also pull the Carfax auto check report so that we have a
Hmm.
complete history of your vehicle. That being said, now we reach out to multiple dealerships, different places. Some of the dealership will clearly say not interested. That saves
Yep.
your time, that saves our time, rather than just going from doing a dealership hopping and randomly hoping that we'll get some value. It is better to do it digitally as much as possible. Some of the appraisals which were awaited, all the online offers we go through CarMax, Carvana, KBB,
Yep.
All Cars, Car Gurus, Vroom, etc. Vroom is now out of business, unfortunately, so we don't get that offers anymore.
I
And
heard.
also all the other dealership. So you can see that he was expecting $18,000. We got a
Yeah.
verbal offer on the text message from the dealership at $28,000. We did set up
Okay.
a three dealership visit back to back in the 2 hour time frame. As is a surgeon, we understand the value of time. You are into the PE as a city of a PE fund. We also understand the value of time. So we'll not make you go around the entire town or the valley so that your time
Right.
is wasted. Every appointment will be preset. We'll double check, we'll confirm. One of my team members will be completely available on demand while you are visiting the dealership. Eventually, he was able to sell his vehicle for $27,250. So from
Cool.
80,000, we got him 27,250 without changing any existing dents, repairs in his cars which were required. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the power of documentation. That's the power of us having the communication with the dealership. So like that, I have
And
multiple.
question, Neil, is
Yeah.
and your success rate in getting more than a Carvana or KBB, are you like batting, 1,000? You batting 700? you know.
Yeah, so we don't bet anything. So there have been many, many instances where we have also helped facilitate the sell of your vehicles to Carvana, but it will not be the case, especially in yours, because you are looking for trade in. In the individual sell where you are not focusing on trade, selling to Carvana, selling to CarMax might work out because we are not looking to leverage the tax benefit. Here we'll be looking
Yeah.
to leverage the tax benefit because if you sell like two vehicles plus your down payment plus the payoff, we are able to save about 10% on the Uncle Sam's taxes, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So we look at value for money rather than just looking at the offer. So for example, if Carvana or even CarMax is offering $18,000, but if a dealership
Yeah.
is offering $17,000, plus we are able to pull them down by additional $2,000 on the new vehicle on the lease which you are looking to get, and plus we are getting the savings on the taxes. That's a better arbitrage for us rather than going for an independent sell.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we will not be able to commit anything that this is with the dealership, this is with the online platforms. What we commit is that when we sell your vehicle, it will definitely be in the top three appraisal offers what we have received after 50 plus hours of efforts by working and coordinating with more than 30 plus dealerships in 50 mile
Okay.
radius. Yes.
Okay, so the first step is engagement, and then in the first basically 72 hours, you're creating a spreadsheet like this.
Yes, in the next 48 hours, we'll be creating the spreadsheet. In one document, we'll be creating three tabs. Two tabs will be for your appraisal offers for both the range as well as for the Sienna. And then the third tab is once we understand what is the new vehicle which we are looking to lease, then we'll be working on that as well. And we are very flexible. Let's say if you say, okay, me and my wife are not sure whether we are looking for a sedan or an SUV, we are looking for luxury versus value, we are looking for new
Yeah.
versus like certified pre-owned. Even for the lease, we want to test drive like five different options, or we want to
Yeah.
just go for the lease where it's the lowest lease in the market, where we can get manufacturer incentives. Any questions you
Yep.
want, multiple comparisons you want us to do, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think
there'll be no
my
additional.
wife,
Yeah.
yeah, my wife's very particular. I think she wants like a white Suburban. I
Okay.
got four kids, man. I got four kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can
So,
relate to it. I have two kids, but yes.
yeah, so we need a lot room. That's why the Sienna works. But you know, if we can get an SUV, and cut off like, basically like $2,000 worth of payments down to at least that's 1,000. That saves
Yep,
$1,000, right? Like
absolutely.
we're paying around $2,800, a little north of that for three vehicles.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me take a note of it. Akansha
Yeah,
also
so
please
like
take a note of it.
so I have like a Tesla, the payments like 700, like $670. The Sienna's like 875, and then the Range Rover is like 1,200 bucks, something like that, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, it's not putting us in a hole. I just want to be smart with our money, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that time we had bad credit, so like your interest rates are anywhere between 8 to 9%, you know.
Yep.
So that's where we're at. So the thinking is like, well, my one car, so that the Tesla and the Range Rover are, I just drive one of them all the time, and my office is like 2 miles away.
Oh,
So
okay.
the Range Rover ends up being just like a date night car, and why am I spending 1,200 bucks just to have it, right?
Yep.
So the thinking is, well, why don't we somehow get rid of that Range Rover and the Sienna and just get a lease for $9 to $1,000 for a nice size SUV? We'd save basically $1,000, you
Yep,
know?
absolutely.
And if we have to invest, $5,000 on a down payment after the lease or whatever, or 3 or 2, long term, that's better for us.
Yep.
So I understand there may be a world where, you could do a good job where the Sienna and the Range Rover offset each other, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
the equity and the upside down,
Mm-hmm.
where, okay, well, now we're good. And now here's this vehicle and it just requires X amount of dollars for a down payment to get the lease. Then that's something I'm willing to entertain.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not, but best world is if you can pull a miracle and I'm not like, hey, everything's good and actually the equity is paying off initial down payment for release they and we walk away with paying nothing. That's a miracle. And what I would do is share you to my entire damn network of high net worth people. you know,
Thank you.
you
Yes.
know, you know, you know.
That would be appreciated. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. All my friends around me just like cars, but they're buying shit left or right. Um, and I'm more of a smart, subtle. I don't need to be flashy. I'm yeah, more grounded than the people around me.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
the Warren Buffett of our times. Yes.
yeah. I'm the one that yeah. I don't walk around with designer or anything. I just look like a normal person down the street. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So but yeah. Okay, so that goes. We provide you what we want, and then you're shopping that around, or is that dealership restricted? Excuse me. Is the vehicle I'm looking at restricted to that particular dealership that offered that appraisal?
No, it's not. It's not limited to that. So as you have,
Okay, interesting.
so there are multiple dynamic attributes which will play around. And in
Mm,
the very first call, I don't want to play around with all the options, but on a very high level, we'll say that we have the experience under our belt to even sell off like Rolls-Royce Phantom, right, for $500,000. So
yeah.
sometimes it's not directly a dealership sale. We have to look at multiple high range used large private dealerships which are
Yep.
typically not in you will not find in your day-to-day neighborhood. So we will also get the appraisal value, especially for the range, which is on the higher ticket item. So we'll see
Yeah.
what they are also offering. That is one way to go about it. The second way is that there are some of the private network platforms which are not that popular, but as we have been doing this day to day, we know that there are certain private buyers who are looking for little
Mm,
bit upside down deal, unfortunately, which you are currently experiencing. So we can
yep.
swap the vehicle with them. It's not that we will be getting another vehicle, but we might be getting better offer
Okay.
than what a dealership has to say.
Yeah, you get creative. I like it.
Yes,
I
yes. So
like it.
we'll look at all creative options. I'll create something called value for money. Let me just show you like the level of value for money which we create. Just a second here. If I can find one of the tabs. Yeah. Um, all right, let's do this.
All right. So I get it. So it's basically $500 to get everything engaged, regardless if we buy or not. But
Yeah,
at least you give
regardless of
us,
you buy or not. So
yeah,
will never put up, I would say, like false pressure, like how a
yeah,
dealership would do. So
yep,
$500 is basically you are paying for our efforts, for our engagement, for us to do the market research, extensive curation, and give you the market pulse. And then based upon that, you can take a decision that, okay, you want to complete the
yep.
entire transaction or you want to wait for a couple of weeks or you just want to like is there any
Mm,
recalibration between you and your
yeah.
family any
Here's one
totally
question,
flexible.
is let's just say like, hey, we go through this exercise and we want to, let's just say, wait a couple weeks or a month. Is it restarting the appraisal process again because, a month could change the values?
Yeah, a month can change the values, but we'll not be requesting fees once again. We'll be doing the entire
Okay.
process. Because we would have already done 90% of the work. We just have to reach out to
Yeah.
again the
Well, you
top.
don't have to tell me, man. $500 is a good deal just to do the things I don't want to do. So,
Okay, sure.
yeah, and if I don't buy, I'm not gonna cry about it because at least I have an educated, decision to make, and then I didn't have to spend my time doing what you just did over 48 hours, right? Like that, like my time is valuable, like you said,
Yeah,
your
but
time is
in your
valuable.
case, it will take more time because we are looking at two different appraisal, two
Yep.
different range of vehicles, plus you have a lien on it, plus you are looking to get the maximum value. So in
Okay.
48 hours, we'll give you a high level of what offers we will be expecting to receive, but it will take us 1 week to get the final top three appraisal offers.
Yep. That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. I'm
Yeah.
not worried
Just
about it.
wanted to be
Yeah.
realistic with you. Yeah, over here.
Yeah. And then typically the yes and everything, we could get a car within 24 hours.
No, so in terms of the car, we'll be going through this particular document. Let me just again share my screen. One
Yeah.
second over here.
Because the reason why is like we're going out of town and I want to be in a world where I may be sitting in a new vehicle by the time we leave.
Okay, when
We
are
leave
you?
we leave the summer, like
Okay,
everyone else.
yes, yes. Do you have a timeline? When are you headed out of town?
Yeah, yeah. So we it'll be June 15th.
Okay, so we today is June 2nd, Monday
Second.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, over here, and so we can easily take care of the entire complete transaction
Is
in
that a
less than
is
10 days.
that a recent timeline to
Yeah.
maybe get in the vehicle by the 13th and 14th so that we have something to hit the road with?
Yeah, yeah, it's a very reasonable timeline. We'll just
Okay.
need additional information from you, especially the letter from the both of your banks. That is, what is the amount which is remaining to be paid off.
Yep.
Once
I
we
have
have
all
that,
that. Like,
oh, you have all
yeah, I
of
have
that?
all
That's
that.
great. That's great.
Yeah,
Then,
yeah, I can give that into a tranche in less than 5 minutes. I have everything you would want to need because I just did my own research on it. I had to sit here and use ChatGPT to kind of help me make a decision on
yeah.
how I want to manage it. And
Hmm.
then I asked that here's something you're gonna have a good kick on. Then I said, well, I don't want to do this on my own. What options do I have? They talked about concierge, and I said, well, recommend me some in Scottsdale, and you guys came as number one search from ChatGPT. Just so you know.
Yeah, yeah. We are doing a lot of AI SEO activities right now behind this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why we're here, which is good. So
Thank
so
you.
I I,
Yeah.
I had to plug in basically, all that information in terms of every vehicle, year, miles, what I owe, what are payments like, what my interest rates are, blah blah blah. I have all that. Yeah. So
Okay. I'm just sending this in a message to my SEO person. He'll be very happy to hear that. He has been like
cool.
slugging away like 12 hours per day over the last 3 months to get us indexed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have dominating DA score with definitely good contextual content for ChatGPT to find it. So
Yes, yes, yes. All of our articles are original. And also just again, another plug from our end. We just launched our YouTube channel as well last month.
cool.
So we
That's
have
exciting. Yeah, man.
Thank you. Eventually, I
All
didn't
right.
want to be like in front of like public face, right? I'm a little bit on that. Okay, let's just focus on the value
Yeah.
rather than just creating the content. But again, we live.
No, yeah, the value is where it's at, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So guys like me value time and the headache and not having to deal with it would be nice. So I get it now. Like, okay, you're doing all the finding the best of estimates for what we want to do with it. There's a trading value with credits. I understand that.
Hmm.
Help facilitate the vehicle that we want, right,
Yeah.
at the
So
best
for
price.
that, this information will be required. We'll need to know which year, make, model, trim, etc. you
Yep,
want to purchase, your zip code, search radius, budget, all of that. And then in the
yep,
next 72 hours, we'll get the lowest lease pricing in quotation,
yeah,
in writing from the dealership. and then we'll just compare all of that, have a mix,
Okay.
create value for money table, just like what I was showing
Yeah.
you.
And this is after payment, right? That form?
No, we can fill it out right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Uh, and
Where is it?
yes, let me just share it.
That's on your web. Yeah, you can just email everything you need me to do and then send me the payment info. I know that you have it online, but I don't know if that's an informal way to do it or if it is your only formal way to do it.
No, so we have both the option. Either you can make a payment directly online, it's integrated with PayPal and
Yeah.
payment gateways there, or I can
Yep.
create a custom link and share it with you as well.
Yeah, send me the custom link to get it.
Okay,
I'll talk with my wife after she gets her back to her doctor appointment. And to me, it sounds like something I want to do anyway. So,
sure, sure. And you want to discuss the type of the vehicle which you want to purchase with your wife, or should we just take an initial note at the moment?
let's just what I want to just I understand your guys' process now.
Yep,
The only thing I just want to be clear, just uncertain. Okay, so after you find the vehicle that we want, you're obviously negotiating that deal too as well or on our
yeah,
behalf,
yeah.
right? From that point, is the sales rep at that dealership going to contact us, uh, knowing that this is the deal points and nothing is changing from that point? Because you know how it is. Like we get
It
there and
changes.
then I walk into the finance room, and next thing you know, I'm like adding all this bullshit that they want to sell me on, right? Like
Yep,
that's
yep.
what I don't want. It's easy to haggle a sales guy. It's when you get in the finance room that I don't want to sit there. I just want to like be like, hey, here's your packet, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here, you know?
Yeah,
Like so walk me through that experience. That's really where the value is for me, is that
sure.
finance the discussion, going in.
So the dealerships makes it mandatory that anyone who walks into the dealership, they push, unfortunately, those people to the finance room. So there are two
Yep.
options what we recommend our clients. Number one is once we have a quotation and once you agree upon it, and we go through the lease application process, credit application process with you and with your
Mhm.
wife. Once the credit report is back, and we only run the credit with the final dealership so that it's not impacting your credit
Yep.
score and your social security,
Yeah.
etc. That being said,
Yeah.
now we will have the something called 7 to 10 page digital contract for us to review. It is called buyer's order, where they sign you like 10
Yep.
different papers, and
I'm
that is
familiar with that. Yep.
yeah, that is where they manipulate the numbers, right? If the lease is like $320 per month for 36 months with 12,000 miles, they'll change it to $340 per month for 36 months. And
Yeah.
will not know that subtle difference. Or they will, instead of agreeing for 12,000 miles, they will reduce it to
Mhm.
10,000 miles on an annual basis. If an add-on
Yep.
mile is like 30 cents per mile, they'll change it to 32 cents per mile. So they'll add
Yeah.
disposition fee. All those nuances, we have a checklist in place which the team manually reviews and ensures that all of those are being removed or taken out before we send it over to sign it. Sometimes a dealership will say that, okay, once, right, once the deal is coming to the table, once the appraisal value is done actually in person, then we'll do the final review because you have two vehicles for the trade. So you will have to take those two vehicles to a single dealership where we have got the
Yep.
lowest negotiated and two highest appraisal offers. So the final contract which comes to you in your hand while you are at the dealership, we would request you send it immediately to us, and we'll take 10 minutes to review it independently, so that way there is no
Mhm.
changes before you make the sign. And then we insist and emphasize to the salesperson who will be in touch with you as a POC, point of contact, that you should not be upsold or cross-sold in the finance room. So we do this precursor to the dealership before you walk in. That is one way to go
Okay.
about it. The second way to
Cool.
go about it seems little bit difficult in your case, but we can make that possible, is to have the entire paperwork sent to your home. You review, you sign it, you send it back. So there is no finance person coming into the game.
Yeah, I like the latter.
Yeah.
But I understand I do need to go in person, sign, but yeah, I will do that. I don't mind that. I just
Yes, yes.
the
And
latter would
don't
be
worry, you keep directly my number. I'll text it to
okay.
you right now. So the day when you will be walking into the dealership, I can come on the FaceTime. We can be on Zoom. We can be on call.
Yep.
So that
Okay, cool.
you don't have to worry about anything. Before they ask you to sign any document, you can say, "Give me 2 minutes." You take a photo, send it to us. We'll review and we'll just say, "Okay."
Okay.
And if there is any doubts, hundreds of times we have called the dealership and paused on that deal, or we have asked them to change it. And
Yep.
99.99% of the times they have to change it because they have no other options over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're sophisticated now. I remember when I bought the Range Rover, everything was like electronic on this screen
Hmm.
table, and at that point I would say, hey, send me that electronic file so that way I could send it to my guy Neo,
Yeah, yeah, you
right?
you
Yeah.
can send it. And if the dealership plays any games, you know what to do, right? You have to say, if you want me to buy this vehicle, you have to send it to me, or you email
Yep.
it on this particular email ID. Just
Yep.
full disclosure over here and disclaimer, we don't let dealership know we are a professional concierge service. Otherwise, they make, unfortunately, the entire transaction very, very difficult. So my team member will be saying that we are coordinating on behalf of Callan, and Callan is our boss. That's a very
Yep.
simple way for us to go through this process in a seamless manner. And they always agree to that. Okay, that someone, an assistant of Callan, is coordinating this process and they'll be at ease. So we like to keep that a little bit private just to ensure that we can pass on the savings to you and the process is seamless.
Yeah, that's fine. I can always play that. Yeah, I got to send this to my assistant, you know?
Yep, exactly. So it's simple for you, simple for us, and dealership will never know what we are up to.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So once we fill out that form, once you send us all the work what you have
Yeah.
already done, we'll combine that and then we'll get started. What I'll do is I'll also send you the client requirement form online link. So while you are with your wife, you can fill it out. It's very simple. And keep in mind, if your preferences evolve here a little bit, we are completely okay with it. Just last but not the least, I'll just share my screen for just 2 more minutes
Yeah.
just to say in the lease price some of the things which we have done previously. Let me just come to this particular tab. So this is one of our client of ours. Again, she is into
Hmm.
Hollywood industry in LA. She wanted to buy a 2023 Hyundai Elantra as the daily commute vehicle, and so you can see in the lease pricing she was looking for. Look at the price difference per month.
Hmm.
Yeah. The
Wow.
same car, right? With the same,
Shoot.
yeah, with the same online price, same MSRP. He, from $480 to $720 per month.
Jesus.
Yes. And so that is the level of negotiations what we do. So we had to compare between Honda, Toyota, and Mazda. We also coordinated several test drives for her. So completely at ease and in a flexible manner, what we do. Also with one of our other client, he was not sure, a very premium high-end client. He was looking for Mercedes, Beamer, Porsche, Lincoln, Audi, Rover range,
Hmm.
exactly what you have at the moment. Cadillac, Volvo, Lexus, Maserati, Alfa, and Jag. And he said that you just give me like the photos of that and what is the starting price, and then I'll see. And then he gave us all the comments of the ones which he is not interested. Eventually he liked Porsche Cayenne, so we curated for Porsche Cayenne. He wanted a pre-owned certified one, so little bit
Hmm.
of mathematical private equity fun times here.
Yep.
We compare miles versus price to get the best value for money over here using a regression X curve analysis. And so that's
Yep.
what we did. And then this is the appraisal offers what we are working on. But he was in a little bit of a rush, so there is not documentation here. But we got him. You can see 38, 41, 37, 39.
Yeah.
We got him $43,000 as his appraisal on his Genesis G90.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, that's great. So I can, yeah, we know what she wants. She wants either a suburban. there's a GMC version and there's a Cadillac version, right? It's the
Yep.
same shit, right? I think the Chevy Suburban and then the GMC, it's called what's the GMC Suburban version? Hold on, I think it's Yukon, right? I think it's Yukon.
Yukon or Denali.
Yeah,
Those are the two ones. Yes.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Cadillac Escalade, right?
Cadillac Escalade. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one which
Yeah,
is
well,
used by
I don't want to give her a Cadillac Escalade. Those things are 100 grand. I don't want to spend that much.
I was just about to say Cadillac Escalade is used by the president office as well as the president of the United States. So,
Yeah, yeah. And the Chevy Suburban is basically the same chassis and everything, you know. So
yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's going to be between a Chevy Suburban and GMC Yukon, but most likely Suburban, just because it's those are like 68,000, I think, just for
68,000.
lease.
Yes.
So here's the question: Are lease? I'm not familiar with lease. This will be the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Is it for how old does it go back? Is it like a 2025 and a 2024? Or is it always the year?
No, it goes up to like any certified pre-owned can be put on lease.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
So it
wow.
goes up to 3 years. Yeah. So today we are in 2025. If a dealership has certified, let's say GMC Yukon or Chevy Suburban, less than driven 30,000 miles. It has to be less than driven 30,000 miles.
Yeah.
Then we can get another lease on that. Yeah.
Yeah, because that changes it, right? Like if a
Yep.
2025 Suburban brand new
Hmm.
versus a 24 that maybe only has 10,000 miles is
Correct.
different cost, right? You know?
Yeah, it's a different car. And typically, dealership prefer that if the vehicle has been put on lease, they can do a second lease. If the first vehicle has been financed, then it has to ensure that it goes through their own certification process and a
Hmm.
manufacturer approval to put on a certified pre-owned lease offer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we'd be open to new and pre-owned too,
sure.
lease.
So
So
we'll look at both new as well as pre-owned. Yeah,
yeah, so just I gotta hop off, but just email
sure.
me the custom payment link to get going, and then
Yep.
whatever the link to the forms, and um maybe you'd hear from me within the next 4 hours,
Sure, sure. Kellen, I'll
or
do that.
some contact within the next 4 hours, whether that's a form or a payment,
Okay.
and we could talk again.
Sounds good. Okay. Thank you, Kellen.
Cool. Thank you, Neil. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Take care. Bye bye.